come to sound the trumpet.
No need to worry. We're going to be brave.
Marked as a battleground.
Attorney at law Ashley Foster recently polled 252 votes against her opponent Henry McCurdy to secure her place as the People's National Party's candidate for the St. James Central Division. Edging out former Representative Lloyd B. Smith, Foster will now contest the St. James Central seat against the Jamaica Labour Party Hugh Clark in the next general election, which is due next week, Thursday. Ashley Foster, welcome to Election Watch.
Thank you very much, Aubrey.
Now, let's speak a little bit about your constituency. A lot of our viewers may not be sure about the areas in which are composite in St. James Central. Tell us about the division and some of the communities located in St. James Central.
Okay, I have 3 divisions. The first is the Montego Bay South Division, which consists of all of downtown Montego Bay, which would include Canterbury, Albion Lane, North Gully, Railway Lane, Barnett Street, Barnett Lane, Princess Street, all of those communities downtown. Then, it would also go up to Brandon Hill, and it ends around Sun Valley Road. Then on Salt Spring Road now starts the Salt Spring Division. In that division, we have communities like Green Pond, Salt Spring, Cornwall Court, Megatop, Melbourne, etc., etc. Then we move over now to the Rose Heights, which is the Montego Bay Southeast Division, where you'd have Farm Heights, Rosemount Gardens, coming all the way down. So it's quite it's a small constituency geographically, but it is dense.
Okay, thank you so
Very
much.
dense.
All right, so there's an obvious question looming about your age and experience in politics. But what are some of the plans that you have ready in your portfolio for St. James Central, knowing that the density that you say about the communities, being majority inner city communities? What are some of the plans that you have?
Well, I think it's important to note that outside of Kingston and St. Andrew, St. James Central is probably the most inner city constituency in Jamaica. So my plans, my mandate, and I'm campaigning on this mandate, is even on my campaign bus, is educate, uplift, empower. So I always would like to have that, in the back of my mind at all times, not only when I'm campaigning, but as I chart the way forward.
Okay.
So,
most politicians, they may come on programs, and every year they propose, education and upliftment. But what will make your programs different, and what would make your initiatives one that will inspire a nation to do better, knowing that you're a young person as well?
Okay, well, let's start there with education. As the strongest pillar, it should be the strongest pillar in every constituency, because it is the only way in which we will move from one station in life. So, education. Thus far, I have put, over the last 4 months, over 50 people in the Heart Unattached Youth Program. And I have harvested these names just on walks. I have a lot of unattached youth, so that's my first step. My second step is to reopen the training center on Sun Valley Road. That training center has been closed for several years now due to mismanagement. However, I'm partnering with Minister 1LuvTv's and Dr. Wickham McNeil, Minister of Tourism, to reopen the center. So Heart is willing to come in. We're looking at opening within the next couple months, and it is hoped that we will filter into the tourist industry, because presently over 800 jobs are being created in the tourist industry. That translates into 1.5 jobs post-construction phase right here in St. James. We also have jobs in the construction phase, naturally. We are also looking at different points. Barracks Road, there's a good point right there at the old National Work site, to reopen some kind of facility. I don't feel that we have enough facilities for arts and technology, especially with regard to our heritage, our culture, dance. We have a lot of musicians. We need to really hone that. So I think Barracks Road would be a great spot for that. Then up in Megatop, which borders on Glendevon, there is another site that I think that we could put a technical training center for the young men up there. Rose Heights, we already have the Farm Community Center. Technical teaching needs to happen there as well. But we would have to balance it and survey to see whether we are providing too many facilities. But I really don't think you can have too many, because we have the people. So that's my pillar on education. Mm-hmm. Poverty alleviation. and the personal emancipation of people, this is one of the poorest constituencies in Jamaica. I know we have a handout culture, but from what I find is my people don't necessarily need handouts. They need help. We genuinely have poor people. So I will continue to work with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security through NIS to make these small grants available for the people of St. James Central, especially the small businesses. NIS has a small business program. I'm not sure if we have made the best use of that. PATH as well, continue to promote PATH. PATH has provided so much support for these communities, and we need to continue to grow that facility. Also, we need to continue on the mission of crime, the mission of peace management, and find solutions to crime and alleviation. And I'm going to do this by working with a coalition with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of National Security, Ministry of Youth, bodies such as CSJP and the PMI, to engage our youth and to promote a transformation agenda.
Okay, so I want to go in on a point of crime, because I know that St. James Central over the years have had various problems in relation to managing crime. We have Canterbury, we have Gully, we have Albion Lane, we have all those communities in which we would classify them as being point communities, communities of interest. What plans do you have thus far are mandated to help to deal with crime? Because people say, no man, she's too young, she can't manage a crime thing. So what plans do you, what strategies would you employ in dealing with this?
Well, when we look at the crime which occurs within the constituency and within the Greater Montego Bay and St. James, they're all young people. We have young men dying daily, and they're usually murdered by young men daily. So we need to reach out to our youth. There has to be a transformative youth agenda. And who better to do it than a youth, especially a young woman? Because women in politics were able to reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people in a manner that a man just cannot do. So I will continue to promote education as a solution to crime and a transformation agenda. What I have found by placing people in the unattached youth program, especially the young men, is that they're afraid of failure. You have to sit an entry test, but we register over 200 people to sit it, 30 turn up, mostly women. When you ask the young men, they say they don't want to take the test. So we need to get our young men to the point where they feel as if they are good enough and can accomplish through decent and traditional means, as opposed to going down the criminal path. So the transformation agenda, if it is going to be, it is up to me.
Thank you so much. Our guest this evening, Ashley Foster. We go for our first break.